joins us on the line. Konrad, just give us some more details of the logic behind this decision.
Yes, hello, good evening. And yes, certainly it is unpleasant news on a Friday evening. But at the same time, I would also want to stress it's only a one-notch downgrade. And I think what I really would put a lot of emphasis on is that we have put the outlook back on stable. Now, we had, before this downgrade action today, we had the rating at a level higher, but with a negative outlook for almost 2 years. And for almost 2 years, we've been highlighting that the very sort of weak and lackluster economic growth performance has been one of our key concerns, in particular in the context of the social challenges in South Africa, the labour market disputes, the continued rise in the government debt burden, the large current account deficit, and the large current account deficit in particular is an issue in the context of the current sort of volatile global markets, and the challenge of funding this current account deficit at a cost. And with a continued sort of negative news flow, we felt that this is the time, after almost 2 years with a negative outlook, where we have to react.
Konrad, would this decision have been different had there not been a near 5-month strike?
The prolonged strike in the platinum sector, but also strikes last year already, obviously had a significant impact on the real economy in South Africa. And we were certainly, in many ways, we were waiting for some good news to come out as far as the South African economy is concerned. And with the ongoing strikes in platinum and the severe strikes we had last year, like, for instance, in the automotive industry, the real economy continued to be hit quite badly, whether it was on the export side, whether it was on the growth side. And the prolonged strikes continue to have a knock-on effect into other sectors of the economy. So again, it was just, part of this ongoing sort of negative news flow.
Konrad, you have, however, put us on a stable outlook, meaning that we don't face, possibly don't face another downgrade for a while. Why then? Because we're hearing of more possible strikes. NUMSA warning of a strike in the manufacturing sector. So I'm just trying to understand the logic behind this.
Now, we think that with the rating level where we are, and please bear in mind, this is the last investment grade rating, and a further drop, a further downgrade would take us into speculative grade territory. But again, we are not saying that. That's why I'm putting emphasis on the stable outlook. We've dropped the rating by a notch, and then that certainly gives us some room to maneuver, some room to wait and see how the economy develops and how public finances develop. And there certainly is some hope that the commitment of the government to the National Development Plan, that over time there will be sort of some more progress with regards to structural reforms in the economy, with regards to labour market reforms, and these are the kind of things we would be looking for the rating to stay where it is. We don't have high hopes at the moment that there will be an acceleration, a boost of reforms and a rapid implementation of labour market reforms and other economic structural reforms, which is unfortunate because that's what we were hoping to see before the downgrade. But at the level where we are now, we have some room for maneuver.
Konrad, final question. Like you said, we are one level off junk status. Now to lay people, that sounds alarming, and it is worrying for people who understand how these ratings work. Can you just explain, in layman's terms, what does that mean? How do you see South Africa in relation to other countries in the globe?
Now, junk status obviously is a very dramatic word, and we don't like to use that term. We'd rather say non-investment grade. Sounds much nicer. But just as a comparison, for instance, at the BBB minus level where we are with South Africa now, that would be exactly the level where we have Brazil, and Brazil also has a stable outlook. That would be the level where we have Russia at the moment, although Russia has a negative outlook. That's the level where we have India, for instance. A level below, in the non-investment grade category, we would have the likes of Turkey, for instance. It is an important threshold, no doubt, and ratings are reflected in bond prices. If you fall out of the investment grade category, you certainly feel that when you price a bond in international markets. But and also there is the public relations kind of issue. You don't want to fall out of investment grade because it certainly sends a a very strong kind of negative message. But again, I would want to stress, with the stable outlook we have, this is really not what we see happening in the medium term.
All right. We appreciate your time. That was the country MD of Standard & Poor's, Konrad Reuss. And the bad news to end off business news this week, we have indeed been downgraded by S&P. We're only one level off that junk status, or as he said, a non-investment grade level. So not good for investors looking at the country, and we were hoping to have avoided that. We will have more business news for you next week. I'll be back on Monday at 6 o'clock with all your top stories. Have a great weekend. Ciao.